Okay, so I recently received my LR Baggs Voiceprint after a long wait, a couple months, while it was on back order. So I'm very excited. This is a device that's intended to use instrument response technology to make your pickup signal, which is from your pickup on your acoustic guitar, compare it to a microphone as a simply a data collection device, not really a microphone per se, but as a comparison device for the pickup signal to see to then simulate with the pickup signal. Still, you're using the same pickup signal to simulate what a microphone would hear, which is more closely aligned to what your ear would hear, and would be more of a natural acoustic sound rather than the electric sound. Because even though I love the pickup which I have in this Dobro, which is a Fishman Nashville, it sounds great, but it still has this kind of buzzy sound. It doesn't sound very natural. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like bees buzzing. Some people call it quacky. It's a piezo sound. I'm not sure how to describe it other than it's just when I hear it sometimes in a club, it just doesn't, it doesn't sound like what my Dobro sounds like. So I don't like it because that's why I play the Dobros, to sound like a Dobro and not to sound like an electric guitar. That said, sometimes I do like it, and so it's not, it's a great sounding pickup, but I just wanted this to sound more acoustic. Now they do make this Jerry Douglas Aura pedal. Fishman makes that, which most people use, I think, to acousticize the sound of their pickup in their resonator guitar. But I was interested in this new generation of instrument response because I guess the thing about the Jerry Douglas pedal, it's basically he created it using his own guitar. He played his way, so it's kind of personalized to him. He does have a variety of microphones that are simulated, high-end microphones, and I'm sure it does a great job. But I thought this sounded interesting because this would be more personalized to my actual instrument, my the actual single unique instrument that I have, and also my style of playing, which may not match the way Jerry Douglas attacks things. So it gives you more personalized approach to that. It also has some capabilities that the Jerry Douglas Oro pedal does not include, which is like a 5-band equalizer, which can really tweak the sound a bit. And then there's also it has a little bit more in-depth feedback control approach that is also tailored to your particular instrument. So when I got it, the first thing I did, since I had not seen it used for a Dobro or resonator guitar in any of the videos that I'd seen posted so far, the device has been out a couple of years, but it was only available for iPhones at first. All the processing is done in your phone, which is a unique approach. So it can store multiple instruments. If you had several different Dobros or several Dobro and a guitar and a mandolin, you could store voice prints in it for that and use each one on the device. And I should also mention the device doesn't. Once you create the voice prints, it doesn't need the phone to operate, but it does come in handy for some functions. But anyway, that said, I created. I've only had this a couple days, and so I haven't had a lot of time to tweak it really exactly to my liking. But I've had a couple days to create voice prints, and at first I was having some trouble with the app. There were a couple bugs in the app that I think I encountered, and I wound up making the first few voice prints with my wife's phone, which is a Samsung S8 Android phone. Mine is a Samsung S21. But first I used hers, and I made it first with a steel string acoustic guitar, which is what most of the demonstrations are. So I knew it would be able to handle that. So I wanted to test it with that. So I made one which I called Martin. Let's see. the first one was I called it Martin 1, MAR1. You save that name. It's just they give you 4 characters to use to save it on so you can see it on your voice print, which one you're using. And I saved that, and oddly enough, that voice print that was designed to work with my Martin HD28, which had a LR Baggs M1 pickup, sound hole pickup in it. It actually processes my Fishman Nashville pickup sound pretty well too, which is interesting. But anyway, that was not actually the guitar voice print for this Dobro, but I'll play it for you in a little bit so you can hear how it sounds. I also created one called Rosedale 1. The name of this guitar, this guitar I'm playing was made by a guy in New Jersey, a friend of mine named John Ridge, who makes excellent resonator guitars, or did. He made just a few, but he's really meticulous, and he did a great job, and I love this the sound of this resonator, which he called Rosedale, and so I kept that name for now. Most of my instruments are named after Toy Story characters, but I'll leave this one Rosedale for now. And so this is the first one made with my wife's phone. I didn't really know what I was doing, and one of the steps to making the voice print, the first step involves tapping on the bridge. They have you do that for your steel string acoustic guitar, which you really can't hit the bridge on this. It's underneath my palm rest here, and it's also I'm not sure it's the same effect as it would be for a steel string guitar bridge. So at first I was hitting it on the body of the guitar. I wasn't sure what they were trying to do with that particular step, but it is associated with the feedback control. And so for the first one, I didn't know what I was doing. I tried it again, and also I think I had a different microphone placement for it. When I did it for the next device, which was our next voice print, which is called Ros 2. And at that time, I hit it right in front, hit the strings. I deadened the strings and then hit it, right in front. So I thought that might have more an effect, like what they're looking for, to evaluate feedback that has the effect of hitting the bridge, which is actually in the case of a resonator, it's the inserts into that spider that sits on the cone. So I thought maybe that's what they'll be after. And then I got my phone to work, and I made Ros 3, which I positioned the microphone actually behind my guitar a little bit, about 45 degrees behind, and at a similar level. And then I made Ros 4, which was positioned in front of the Dobro, this guitar, and that it actually wound up sounding very much the same. I was surprised that the placement of the microphone didn't have that much effect. And by microphone, I mean the microphone. This is use your cell phone as the microphone. That's the device that they're designed to process the comparison. Just for grins, I was curious, well, what would happen if I actually was able to use like a microphone, like a more, I would think a better microphone, like such as this SM57. This is not a high-end microphone, but I thought it might provide better results in terms of just the sound quality than the cell phone microphone. And cell phone microphones are pretty good, so I'm not even sure if that's necessarily true, but this is the microphone. I decided to just give it a try, and I have another video that describes how I got this microphone into the cell phone, which you have to do because that's where the processing of the voice print happens. And of course, the microphone has an XLR jack, and I had to get that somehow to convert to a USB-C jack, which I go through in another video to explain how I did that with stuff I had around, rather than buying a whole new interface or something. So, and one of the key items was this $10 item I got at Target, which is a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Anyway, that's described in that other video. But what I'll do here is I'm going to turn my microphone off and go through each of these voice prints that I developed, and it only took really a few minutes for each one. It's a very fast process. Like as I said, I've only had this a couple days now, and so There's not a learning curve on this at all. It's very easy. They've made it very easy for you, and it's really quite an interesting device. So I do believe that the Voiceprint makes the takes away a lot of that bees buzzing sound that I hear from the pickup itself, which again is not always bad. I like it, but it's just not quite what I'm after, and it gives it a more natural sound. So that's I think it's doing the job. So I'm going to go through each of those and through the bypass in between. I'm going to turn off my microphone so that that doesn't change what you're hearing. I have this going directly from my amp into the computer, so there's no microphone, the computer microphone or any other microphone. This microphone I'm going to turn off so we don't hear it coming through that. So I'll have to hand signal what I'm doing. Bypass. This is when I have a bypass in between each of the demonstrations, and then I'll describe each one, which is of those that I just described. Each one of the voice prints, and you can hear which one, how each one compares to the Fishman's pickup signal, and how each one compares to each other. All right, here we go. All right, so there you have it. That's comparison of all my voice prints. That last one I did twice because I did them in different order, I think, by accident. So the bypass I did after the 57, and then I did a 57 again. The 57 has the, that's the one that I used this actual microphone to make the voice print. I think it came out pretty good. Although the Martin one that I made without even using this Dobro, actually, I might like that one the best. I don't know. They each have a different character. I think they each sound a little more natural than the Fishman pickup. The first ones I made with the phone Ros 3 and 4, even though the mic was placed in a different spot, they sound nearly identical to me, which surprised me. And the ones made with my wife's phone, which is an older phone, sounded pretty good, I thought, too. So I think, all of them have their own character, and I might, tweak them, and I need to spend some time listening to them and living with them and using them in a club atmosphere, perhaps, or performance atmosphere to see how they really do sound in a room, amplified through a PA system. But I'm very pleased so far with the performance of it. It's still using the same signal that you get from your pickup, so it's not like it's going to add new information. It's using the information it gets, and somehow through that processing comparison between the microphone and the pickup information, it's comparing those, and I guess it's adjusting the EQ on individual frequencies. The amplitude of different frequencies perhaps might do some compression. I don't really know how it works, if it's using compression or adding reverb, electronically somehow. I don't know what it's doing, but it seems to be pretty effective. And again, I don't know how it exactly would compare to the Jerry Douglas Aura, which is geared to specific microphones, and Jerry Douglas's guitar. And that probably has good effects on anybody's guitar, anybody's Dobro. But this one seemed to have some more flexibility, more personalization, and so I thought that this seemed like a more appealing thing because it's kind of the next generation, and I wanted to give it a shot. And I don't have a Jerry Douglas Aura to compare to. I'd love to, if anybody in the Philadelphia area would like to sit down with me and do a side-by-side, that would be fun. We can compare what the sounds are. And again, I apologize for my playing. I'm still learning how to play this instrument, and any of the flubs of playing are my own. It's the main thing, though, is when I do play, I do want it to sound like a Dobro. So that's what I'm going for with this. And a lot of times the sound I was getting through an amplifier it just didn't sound like a Dobro to me. I like the sound of a microphone. It's much more natural, but of course it's prone to feedback. I should also mention that this thing does have interesting feedback controls that are tailored to your instrument. That hitting of the first step where you hit the bridge apparently is where the most of that processing goes, and it finds the frequencies of your particular instrument that are prone to feedback, and it seems to do a good job. I had some experience here with the feedback, and it it had a feedback profile for my Dobro under each of these voice prints. And when I get feedback, after I've done that profiling, if I turn the feedback control up to 100%, it gets rid of the feedback. So it really does a good job. So basically, I'm going to keep that at 100% all the time because I am prone to feedback in those situations, and I don't think I'm sacrificing much by turning it up. Of course, it'll cut those frequencies that it affects, but it's a very narrow frequency range that it finds, and so it really doesn't damage the sound much when you turn the feedback control all the way up. So I like it. Anyway, I'm pretty positively impressed by this so far, and I hope this is useful to some of you. I hadn't seen until now, or through now, any other Dobros trying this device out. So all in all, I think it's an interesting device. Street value, street price is around $400. That's what it was when I first was looking for it. Of course, and they don't have too many discounts applicable to it on the online vendors. Although I did manage to get a, I think it was a 10% discount around. I bought it around Black Friday, 2022, and it was going for $400 then, and now I see at some websites the price has gone up to $429. So I'm not sure what that's about. Scarcity of the chips, I think, is still affecting the supply chain, but hopefully that'll come back down. And $400 is the same price as the JD Aura. So it's another option out there. That people have also mentioned the Tone Dexter, which you use. I haven't really investigated that, but anyway, there you have it. Hopefully this was useful. Thanks. Good luck.